A big welcome to Band Stripped. I'm the Eskimo Writer, and this is Hot 91.9. My special guest in studio, finally, is Pedro Barbosa. You've heard his music. Now we're going to hear about his songs and about his career and what brought him to this point in his life. Pedro, a big welcome to the Band Stripped studio, finally.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
You were on the station quite recently with Parky to talk about your new single and new EP.
That's right, yeah.
And we bumped into each other in the corridors, not literally, figuratively speaking. And then this happened.
Exactly.
So we're very excited. I've listened to a lot of your music and, took a deep dive into your career a little bit. What shaped your love for music as a child?
Well, my dad was a big music lover. And he used to listen to a lot of Queen and Bryan Adams, and it was actually a big variety of music in the house, and he used to listen to it loud, man. So it just gives you like this, this oomph and stuff. And this from a young age. And my mom actually says I used to in the shower, at the age of 6, 7, I used to sing these songs, but I didn't speak English then. So I think that's where my songwriting...
All Portuguese at the time, yeah.
Yeah, so my songwriting was a bit of... I think that's... we always joke, that's where it started. Because I would make up words, like Summer of 69. I mean, till recently, I thought that swing, 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 swing my... my dream around. I thought he sang Sing My Dibula. And I sang that because obviously something like... I thought my Dibula was someone's name, And yeah, that's where it actually... From a young age, I always had that interest.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed music and stuff. But I only started playing... I'd only discovered music within me as something bigger than just listening when I was about 16.
Yeah.
And I started that. I broke up with a girl and I started writing some stuff. And
it's always a good place to start, breaking up with a girl, all that raw emotion. You're 16. The testosterone has no idea where to go. But best to go into pen and some music, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm sure. I think most people actually start that way. But and I just started like that. And I wrote, and a friend of mine was a musician, and he read some of my stuff, and he's like, "Dude, this looks like lyrics, man. Have you tried and sing it?" I was like, "Dude, I don't sing." It's like, "No, just try and sing it."
Were those first songs just out of interest in Portuguese or in English?
English. Immediately, it was always easier for me to write in English.
Yeah.
I've written a couple of Portuguese songs and Spanish songs and stuff, but naturally for me, when I express, it naturally comes in English. So to be honest, the Portuguese and the Spanish is something that I have to I'm gonna write a Spanish song kind of vibe.
So how old were you when you moved across from Mozambique?
I was 20 when I came here.
Okay, so that was quite late.
Yeah.
I thought you were here for
longer. No, I was actually I studied. My parents told me I should study music. I was like, no, there's no money in music. So I studied about 6 months.
First ever musician to say that.
I know. Everyone keeps telling me. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And I told them no. And I did pharmacy. And then I've always been a big lover of marine biology and stuff, even though I will not dive because I'm scared of sharks. But I love to see it.
Yeah.
So I did just over a year of marine biology. And then I went to my parents. I was like, I think you guys were right. Obviously, they weren't happy about it. And then I came here and did 3 years of jazz.
Yeah, that was very interesting. That took you on another path because you obviously ended up in LA.
Yes.
And then you came back here. And then I'm assuming I'm pronouncing this right, Mrs. B.
Yeah, that's
right. That was your band, 3 albums.
Yeah.
How did you find that shaped you musically?
It was good. The whole idea of being inside of a band, a group of people, like in a relationship. I always say people don't understand me, but you are in a relationship. I think it was a rock. It was a rock, and to an extent, a bit of a heavy rock kind of project.
Well, that's what I expected you to say. I expected you to say rock. If you said light jazz and a little lounge band, I would not have believed it. So,
well, I've got the physique for a jazz band.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was good to experience stuff with people, and it kind of one of the things though that I still say I did wrong was I was too scared to go solo. And so I got very attached to Mrs. B and kept, I think Mrs. B was together from 2006, the original side, because we played covers before that, till about 2013. Yeah. I see you.
Yeah. I know. It's very impressive, Pedro.
Eskimo Writer.
Sometimes I'm in awe of myself when I.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, what was your role in the band?
I was the lead vocalist, rhythm guitarist, and I wrote the songs.
So you basically wrote on your own, and the band put the music together with you, and
most of the times. There was a couple of songs like Sean, the guitarist. He wrote. He actually wrote, I think, a couple of the songs. I helped him with the lyrics and stuff like that.
Right.
But we did a lot of the songs. We also put the stuff together. So I would write. You write the chord. You have the chords and the melody and the.
But you structure together on guitar, acoustic, and then
the band just gets in and
gets it all shaped
what
up.
happens. Yeah.
It's fun stuff, but it's obviously quite intimidating. I know this. I used to play in a band, and when you go into a solo career after that, it's quite intimidating because it's just you and your guitar now. And how did you find that transition?
I should ask you that question. You also have a song.
Yeah, I know.
It was okay. So Mrs. B split up. So I started another project called the Barbosa Experience. So I had that on the side.
Yeah. I would argue that the Barbosa Experience is still happening.
It is actually still happening. It's not a constant, unfortunately. Yeah. Everyone's busy. I mean, Frederick is the sound engineer at the theater. Peter's got his projects. Rudy's got Plataland and all that stuff. So it's hard to get the band together, but we do often, especially when it comes to festivals. We love playing festivals with that band.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's a very interesting shape of music.
Yeah, but the solo thing is. So I went into the covers because I needed to make money. That's basically. The originals, I mean, Mrs. B breaking up, and I think there was a bit of heartache, and I don't want to play those songs and leave that behind. So I went to the cover scene, and it was playing covers is easy, dude. To please someone with a cover song, everyone knows it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And when I started shifting to the originals, it was complicated for me. And the other thing was when I released Reborn, I released part of myself. It wasn't a thing. It was the first time where it was a whole album of emotions, like hectic emotions. And so there were certain songs that I didn't play live till I launched the CD last week. So.
People don't understand that. I mean, if you're a writer of any kind, whether you're a poet, whether you're a writer, or creative of any kind, when you put your work or your body of work, even an artist, putting your body of work out for people to judge and open, it's exposing yourself. And some people are really confident and they're very lucky, but some people feel very vulnerable. Yeah. And I get the sense that when you put this out, the way it's titled, and the type of music thematically that's in there, lyrically, etc., that you probably felt quite vulnerable putting this piece of work out.
No, for sure. It was. And you get into the studio. I remember recording Crazy Love, and Mark Peeling is like, okay, dude, this song has, because sometimes you record the verses and then you EQ it so that you balance the vocals and you do the chorus. He told me Crazy Love has to be one shot, dude. We can't copy and paste. It's just piano. It's very clean. I don't want to feel, and I want one emotion. Yeah. So he starts talking to me about a divorce and stuff like that. And he goes deep and he starts playing me all these sad songs, but he didn't tell me what he was doing. And he starts, and I was going through like a bit of a hectic phase. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, what is going on with this song? He's obviously, I'm thinking he's down, shame. So I'm like trying to be supportive. I'm
going to come back to Mark and his process just now. So I'm going to dive into that just now. Okay. Because he's a very special producer and you were very lucky to have worked with him, and he's lucky to have worked with you too. But the song 25 to Life, specifically, that's something that is fresh and it's new. It's Pedro now. Mm-hmm. When did you write the song?
25, I started writing that song, I'd say probably about 6 years ago. The concept of the song. So I had the chord progression, I had the melody structure. I didn't have the rapping part of the song. And so when I decided I was doing the journey to Reborn and I was getting all these older songs, that popped in. And you write a song and then you leave it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you go like, I can relate to this right now, So I decided to just work on it quickly. And I remember the emotion that I had previously and stuff. So I just attached that. So it started 5 years ago and literally finished, I would say, a few months ago before we tracked it.
Yeah. 25 to life in 5 years to come to life. That's a good way to phrase it. Well, this is Pedro Barbosa with his first track on our Bandstrip feature. It's called 25 to Life. Enjoy this.
She wears my
soul like a raincoat. She tells me she don't know why God gave her faults. She's so weird, no. Oh my, oh my, oh my, she's so colorful. Ooh. But she don't know, no, no, she don't know. She's loved in my home. She said, baby got me hanging like a pit stop. Whenever there is trouble, I'ma feel in life. Am I being used or a needy old timer? Maybe no commitment makes me safe in life. No broken heart, no sacrifice. I do want something good in life. Feel you are the one, but I'm too scared to rise. My heart's been torn and maybe now I'm blind. Loving you is my 25 to life. Could have gotten bail, but it didn't feel right. I don't tell her, you know how I feel. I don't tell her 'cause they're just too real. What if she tells me she don't feel the same way? What if she tells me she don't wanna walk this way? Oh baby, what if, oh no, what if I'm not loved in her home? Baby got me hanging like a pit stop. Whenever there is trouble, I'm a feeling like, am I being used or a needy old timer? Maybe no commitment makes me safe in life. No broken heart, no sacrifice. I do want something good in life. Feel you are the one, but I'm too scared to rise. My heart's been torn and maybe now I'm blind. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Loving you was my 25 to life. Could have gotten bail, but it didn't feel right. Oh, loving, she wears my soul like a raincoat. She tells me she don't know why God gave her faults. She's so weird, no. Oh my, she's so colorful. Ooh. But she don't know, no, no, she don't know. She's loved in my home. But she don't know, no, no, she don't know. She's loved in my home.
Welcome back to Band Stripped, and that was Pedro Barbosa with his first track called 25 to Life. Pedro, welcome back.
Thanks.
Now, you touched on something earlier. You talked about Mark Beeling and etc. But I wanted to dive first, before we get into that, into your writing process. Now, different musicians start with different things. Some people start scribbling lyrics on pieces of paper. Some people start with chord structures. How do you do it?
I generally hear stuff in my head. I always have my phone when I'm driving, for example, because I don't know why it happens when I'm driving. In the bathroom as well, it's odd, but yeah. But I hear something, and then the other things I can feel. When I know that this period that I'm going through right now is a writing period.
Yeah.
So I do pace myself for that.
I'm the same, by the way.
Do you also?
Yeah. Like I'm going through a phase now where I haven't written anything for it's close to 6 months.
Sure, yeah.
It's okay with it, but I'm okay with that because I know I need this to feel like a writing period of 3 months, and then you write 30 songs in 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. No, and you have like 4 albums.
Yeah.
No, so I do have exactly that, and then so it's relative, but most of the times. Either like if I hear the stuff, then I get a hook. I immediately have the hook.
Yeah.
So the song goes based on that, basically. A lot of times me just sitting at home and playing guitar, and I'm like, ooh, this progression sounds... So I just start jamming with it, and something just starts coming. So most of the times lyric comes after for me, because I write the lyric based on the emotion that the progression and the song is giving.
Also, when you haven't... Two sides to it, the emotional structure...
Mm-hmm.
and the technical structure.
Exactly.
And then your brain fuses all together, and then your lyrics just
Flow.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Now I get it. It's actually a very similar writing process, and it's amazing. I've interviewed quite a few people on the show, and there's not a single musician that has exactly the same process. A lot of people do it very differently, and but yours is very similar to mine, so I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Now you recorded a Reborn with Mark Belling.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's first of all an amazing musician and producer. What was that like working with him?
Immediately, Reborn. I don't know if you want to hear a bit about the story, but
Of course,
Reborn. Yeah, we hear. Reborn was not written but recorded during a period where I was going through divorce,
right.
and so it was a very emotional period for me.
Dark
and stuff like
lots of emotion, uncertainty,
all that stuff, and Mark literally like embraced me on that. So I always refer, and it was something I spoke to on the show, that Mark is like a brother a brother from another mother, but really not like, you're my brother from. He was really very. So I think that brought us very close, and made the album very special in a sense, because it's almost like he felt the energies from me, and he pushed that into his production and stuff,
Yeah.
So
I
it was
get that,
amazing,
yeah.
yeah.
Because obviously he worked out that you were in a very fragile space, used the emotion and directed that emotion towards your song. So
Exactly, yeah.
I'm sure you probably did a couple songs and vocals, retake after retake, when you thought you had it right, and saying, no, we're not there yet. And you're thinking, well, where do I go? How much better can I sing this? And then you eventually do.
Yeah.
So when you go into studio like that and you find that extra gear, did you find working with him? You recorded 3 albums with Mrs. B, right?
We recorded more, I think. With the first one wasn't, I think 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken.
And you've been in studios before, you've done all that before.
Yeah.
You studied this
Yeah.
to a large degree. But now going into studio with an experienced producer, was also a songwriter and a great musician, taking you beyond where Pedro thought he could go.
Definitely.
Did you find you reached a new gear working with him?
Yeah, I think it was the first time in my life where I felt completely at ease in studio.
Yeah.
It was like, I would get to studio, me and Mark would chat for like an hour and a half. And I would always tell him, dude, I'm using your time, and I'm paying for it. But it's like, and he's like, no, let's relax. And all of a sudden when we record, it's like, it was the best thing, because we would go through stuff very quickly.
Yeah.
We didn't, I didn't feel like we wasted time and stuff. And that connection was extremely important for me, because I think you feel that in the production side of things and everything else. And Mark is the most wonderful guy to keep you at ease, dude. It's like, I don't know if you've had the pleasure of working with him.
No, I haven't worked with him, but we've played on the similar stages, especially at Rusty Hook.
Oh yes, yeah.
Different times, and it's weird. We've actually never ever worked together, but I'm sure that time will come. But everyone that I've spoken to who's worked with him recounts the experience you're recounting now. So it helps get what the Pedro Barbosa we know now.
Yeah,
that's partly related to the process you went through doing Reborn.
Oh yes, no, definitely.
Which means that even in naming that album, it was quite cathartic, and it's actually exactly what you went through. It's like your chrysalis phase, and you came at the butterfly, right?
Well, it's exactly that. It was, and it was scary. To be honest, it was a very scary period of my life. It was like, it was my first completely solo album. It was going through a divorce. I was together with my now ex-wife for 15 years and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was
15 years, you said.
Yeah, we were together. We were married for, I think, 6-7 years.
You look quite young, dude. How old were you when you got married? 15?
I'm turning 40.
Okay, wow.
Tomorrow.
That's amazing, actually, because you look about 20 years younger than me. And I
thought you were my age.
My 30s. No, I'm not.
What?
I'm a solid 45.
Really? Okay. Well done. Nivea,
Thank
right?
you. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
I need to get
Choice of Champions.
My mum.
So Crazy Love.
Yeah.
This was a big song for you. It was a big song because it was a breakthrough song for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you anticipate the song becoming such a big hit?
Yes, in a sense, not becoming a big hit, but anticipate that it was going to be one of the biggest songs of the album.
And well received.
Yeah. The minute I played the song, Mark told me, "Dude, this is the song of the album." Mark believed that the single though was a song called "Wait on Me," for example.
Right.
That was going to be and I know why I say that, because it's a song a bit more upbeat, and it covers much, I would say, much broader market type of thing.
Yeah, commercially speaking.
Yes, yeah.
Emotionally speaking, though. I can tell you that this
Yeah.
was the song, right? Emotionally speaking. And for our audience listening out there, I mean, they all love music, but as much as they listen technically, it's mainly musicians who listen technically. People listen emotionally.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think it definitely struck a chord, even with our audiences.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's. I see it on sales and everything. I mean, this song is. It's like way ahead of until you guys started playing "Should Have Been" as your single, because that changed everything. Funny enough.
Yeah.
But "Crazy Love," "Crazy Love." You know what it was? It was during the recording itself. It was the first time I cried on studio. Was actually recording "Crazy Love," and how Mark approached the whole process, the intensity behind it and stuff. But he basically, as I was talking about earlier, it's like he put me in a position of fragility and vulnerability, and I did the first.
Because you wanted that new performance.
Exactly, and you feel it. I think that's the thing. Because when we did the tracking, he told me this is probably your best vocals that you ever recorded. And it wasn't because I sang it great. It was just so much emotion on the singing. And we actually afterwards were talking about the fact of a lot of times you get into studio and you feel that, like, it is, you feel the pressure and stuff. And instead of feeling the song, you sing the song, which is wrong.
Yeah, and when you listen to it, it sounds flattish.
Exactly.
And you're thinking, something's missing, but actually it's you.
Yeah, and it's emotion. That's all it is. Not that you sang wrong, that you got the wrong notes or whatever the case may be. And so immediately we felt with "Crazy Love" that there was something big. We didn't know that was. I mean, all the things that it did. And
well, you created something special, and now you're going to play an unplugged version of that "Crazy Love." Is the version that you're going to play quite similar to what you've recorded, or?
It's actually how I wrote it.
Oh, nice.
Because I told Mark I wanted piano. I'm a terrible. I can play a bit of piano, but I'm terrible. And Mark actually played the piano on that song.
Yeah.
And I remember when he brought the piano the first time, I was like, "Wow, dude, that's exactly."
Yeah.
And
but originally written on guitar, and this is how you wrote it.
Yeah.
Well, that's Pedro Barbosa with his second track for Band Stripped. This is his breakthrough hit. It's called "Crazy Love," and you're going to hear it like he wrote it right here on Hot.
One day your heart will fall in just the same way, and I will watch you crawl to the depths of your dark place. But I won't watch you for long, 'cause my heart ain't built that way, and my arms are strong, and I will pull you away. 'Cause crazy, crazy love is a drink on a Sunday, cuddle up on Monday, break up on Tuesday, fight on a Wednesday, Thursday we okay, Friday it's play day, Saturday I'm going insane. Oh, a drink on a Sunday, cuddle up on Monday, break up on Tuesday, fight on a Wednesday, Thursday we okay, Friday it's play day, Saturday I'm going insane. You're so freaking crazy, but I like you that way. 'Cause loving ain't boring when you confuse me each day. Oh, knowing a woman's heart is a delicate art. If you get it right, she'll love you day and night. But if you don't, you lose it slowly. Once you realize that crazy, crazy love is a drink on a Sunday, cuddle up on Monday, break up on Tuesday, fight on a Wednesday, Thursday we okay, Friday it's play day, Saturday I'm going insane. Oh, a drink on a Sunday, cuddle up on Monday, break up on Tuesday, fight on a Wednesday, Thursday we okay, Friday it's play day, Saturday I'm going insane. 'Cause want you that way. No, I want you that way. Oh no, I want you that way. Yeah. Well, tell me, baby, tell me why. Tell me why won't you stay? 'Cause crazy, crazy love is a drink on a Sunday, cuddle up on Monday, break up on Tuesday, fight on a Wednesday, Thursday we okay, Friday it's play day, Saturday I'm going insane. Oh, a drink on a Sunday, cuddle up on Monday, break up on Tuesday, fight on a Wednesday, Thursday we okay, Friday it's play day, and Saturday I'm going insane. 'Cause I want you that way. No, I want you that way. And she said, why won't you stay?
Welcome back to the Band Strip feature with Pedro Barbosa. That was Crazy Love. Strong emotional performance as always from Pedro. Pedro, just watching you and listening to your music over these last few years, and you mentioned some of this earlier, what your father used to play back in the day, but who are the artists that you admire the most, A, internationally, and B, locally?
I'll rather put it into phases. So growing up, I was a big Johnny Clegg fan locally. Brenda Fassie, Mira Makeba.
Nice.
It was stuff that moved me in terms of groove, and there was a bit of, I didn't understand what Brenda.
And a rhythm.
Yeah, and rhythm. That's
it
the
was
thing.
rhythm-based
It was
music.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's like, you know, so I've always enjoyed the African side, and also Bon Jovi was a big influence for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when the first song
Actually,
I ever
me
written,
too. Yeah.
really,
yeah. The first song I sang in the band
that generation, bro.
was Living on a Prayer, actually. So
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Bon Jovi, Bryan Adams was a big influence coming up, and then writing was the big change in my writing came when I started appreciating Matchbox 20. I started checking the composition
And probably the Goo Goo
production.
Dolls.
Yeah, no, well, come on, yeah, you can't let
Just
them
working
out.
out what you said, right? I mean, it's a weird thing because the influences you mentioned are very similar to what I listened
Really?
to, and we're of a similar age.
Yeah.
So the same things that influenced
Generation and stuff.
us. So,
So it is a generation thing,
yeah,
maybe.
it's a generation thing. Yeah.
So well, I've got a question. Are you an emotional person?
No, I'm not really an emotional person. I'm an emotional writer.
Is it?
So
Okay?
I write very visually, and my lyric, and the same thing. You feel music, and you write very visually, so that you hope that your lyrics can paint a picture
Exactly. Yeah.
and make people feel something, and that's what it is for me. And if I don't feel it when I'm writing it, I don't write it. So
Well, it took me a while to get there. You know, it wasn't like at first. But that's exactly the same.
But I don't ever like. I mean, if you're asking if I play my songs and I have a good, I like weep afterwards. No, that's never happened. However, if you're going through certain moments in your life, there's certain songs that you can play and there's certain songs that you can't play. That's for sure,
No,
right? Because of where you're reaching when you're performing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's. I totally agree with you.
So you're saying the artists. So that's Matchbox 20. And Rob Thomas is a great writer, by the way.
That's. I think he's one of the best. And then Bruno Mars from a newer generation. Bruno Mars, Ed Sheeran. I'm actually. I always say Foo Fighters. I enjoy Foo Fighters quite a bit. Red Hot Chili Peppers, but it's. I cannot say that I'm a big fan of someone specifically. I usually like some songs of that person,
sure,
and I relate to them. And then
like, I mean, I'll give you an example, Bon Jovi, right? I really love Bon Jovi's 80s, 90s. I found that even though in the last few albums have been musically really good, but it doesn't resonate with me anymore.
Same thing here.
Like, I feel, I don't know, maybe it's still good, I suppose, but it doesn't resonate with me as a fan anymore, you know?
And now it's exactly that. Like, I think when they started releasing, what was that? Have a nice day.
Yeah.
From
It's
there,
My
it
Life
started like taking a bit of a something. Yeah, it wasn't the same anymore.
Teen
for me.
pop. That's what apparently it is. And sort of, it's the international artists that you would say. I mean, what about bands like Vertical Horizon?
I knew a couple of songs. This is the thing again. There was a couple of songs, especially in the I think early 2000s, that there was a big that was for me. I would listen to that thing like 10, 20 times a day. You know, I can't remember now. Now I can't remember. But I remember it was a big inspiration for me. You know, that sound. And also, like, you remember the American Pie, the movies and stuff. There was all this like this pop, punk
it was
rock
stuff like I'm trying to think of the type of things. It was like this teen rock,
teen rock,
like Jimmy Eat World and that type of thing. It was high energy rock and roll, right?
I am still very today. I wake up in the morning and I'll
Sugar
listen
Ray.
to stuff like that. Yes, there you go. Yeah. So I have like playlists and stuff, and I'll listen to things like that, like what's that? Swing from the table side, you know, stuff like, you know, and it's still songs that I think bring me back to that, to those days and stuff.
And what about Portuguese artists?
You know what? Portuguese for me comes in on a very deeply emotional level. Funny enough, the Portuguese artists that I like, it's more. It's from an emotion point of view, not from a groove or stuff. So it's lyrical content mostly, strong melody. And one of the greatest things, I was nominated now for a Portuguese Music Award, so I had to go to the States in May for that. And I met one of the artists that one of his songs was one of the most beautiful things I've ever. And you know that moment where you're like, you know, and I told him, which I had a quick chat, a very nice guy and everything. And I don't know. There's like this, like I said, there's this emotional connection with me with Portuguese, but Brazilian is a different story, because Brazilian they've got that groove, they've got that energy, and it's like this eats you up. So there's a combination.
It's a very vibrant, uplifting. Whereas if it comes from Portugal, Mozambique, or Angola, it could be slightly.
Well, Mozambique and Angola, they push the rhythm as well, because they've got a lot of Brazilian influence as well, a lot of the Latin stuff. But from Portugal itself, to me, it's more of a. So I like artists like Rui Veloso and stuff, which are much more slower tempo. You know,
I got to work with quite a few Portuguese speaking people. I'd say because people came from Angola, Mozambique, Brazil, and Portugal, because I produced 3 Big Brother Angolas.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay, cool.
So I got to work with a lot of Portuguese crew back in the day, because obviously there was 100% Portuguese, and none of our South African crew could speak Portuguese, so it was very important to get Portuguese speaking crew. And the only word I actually remember that came out with that was obrigado. So obrigado, Pedro.
They were nice to you.
Yeah, they were very nice to me. I'm sure they said other things that I couldn't translate, and thank goodness for that. How would you like people? And it's a good question for you, I suppose, because you come across as a very conscientious writer and thinker when it comes to music, and nostalgic. Portuguese music reminds you of home. That's why it makes you emotional.
Probably, yeah. Very, very, wow.
You're welcome. This show reveals things that even I don't understand.
I was wow, that's interesting.
How would you like people to remember your music?
Wow, I actually never thought about that.
10 years from now, 20 years from now, somebody hears Pedro Barbosa on the radio. You go, wow, I remember that guy. This is how it made me feel. Or, I mean, what would be the thing you would want them to say?
See, that's a tough one, actually. You put me in a place here now. So.
Of course I have. Welcome to Band Stripped.
Strip me down.
Exactly. Not literally for those radio listeners, that we are fully clothed, both of us.
For now. But I don't know. I actually, you know, like you said, you're very right. Music for me is a very emotional thing. It's and I think I remember back in the day thinking that I would like to make a difference. It's always been the thing, you know, to make like I've always took inspiration from someone like Johnny Clegg, who can unify cultures and break barriers and things like that. So I do have a lot of that in me, where I hope those things happen through my music. And I think the most important thing is for someone to say, like, I'm going to go back now, but I wrote a song called Life So Beautiful, Mrs. B. I played at Strab, And this guy comes to me and a few months later says, your song saved my life. And I was like, what? He says, no, your songs changed my life. I wasn't going through a rough period.
Yeah.
I was thinking about committing suicide. So that is like,
And you give
know,
somebody hope.
Exactly, dude.
Pull them out of a hole.
Yeah. And that to me is very valuable. And honestly, it is it's nice to see that you had an impact and you can actually help someone, you know.
So would it be safe to say, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, that you would hope that your music, how you like to be remembered, is that your music had meaning for people?
Yes, and inspired people. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Count Me In is your third and final track for Band Stripped. What's the story behind Count Me In?
Count Me In, also, it's a song that started ages ago. I started writing it a long time ago. Funny enough, when I started writing Count Me In, I think, because people go like, you can hear on the song, it's got a bit of like a muse kind of side to it. But when I started writing, I was going for the Spanish thing. And I started playing the flamenco on the guitar, and I started writing the song. And all of a sudden, the song changed completely. As I started singing, I was like, what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And but it's basically about someone looking, appreciating you on what they think is their perspective. And then you kind of having a chat with them and telling them, just close your eyes and actually evaluate what you're saying. And once you realize that it's not that, you can actually count me in, because I will be there for you. But don't judge me, kind of vibe for what.
I see. Okay,
that's actually
that's quite complex, and it's a beautiful complex theme in a song. That always makes me curious, because I think those are beautiful things, because you could listen to the song and different people will take a different perspective on the song itself. Thank you, Pedro.
Cool.
This is Pedro Barbosa with his third and final song on Band Stripped. This is a track called Count Me In.
You can close your eyes and see me in a different light. Yes, it may all be lies in your eyes, but you can count me in, and our wishful destiny. You can close your eyes and see me in a different light. Yes, it may all be lies in your eyes, but the truth that blinds within the sacrifice makes us treasure our precious time. And you can count me in, 'cause you are wishful destiny. And you can count me in, 'cause you are wishful destiny. You can close your eyes and see me in a different light. Yes, it may all be lies in your eyes, and you can count me in, 'cause you are wishful destiny, and you light. Yes, it may all be lies in your eyes, but well, you can count me in. And 'cause you're serendipity.
Welcome back to Bandstrip. That was Pedro Barbosa with his third and final song. Unfortunately, on Bandstripped, it was called Count Me In. Pedro, thank you so much for joining us in studio tonight and giving up your time to spend with us and the Hot 91.9 audience.
Thanks for having me, man.
A very important question, the most important question for the whole night. Where can people find you and your music?
Find me. I was like...
so on social media, what are your handles?
No, I was like, my address is... No,
you can find me right here in the Hot 91.9 studios right now.
Right here, waiting. Stripped. No, I'm kidding. You can actually, it's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I don't do much Twitter though.
Yeah.
But, it's Pedro Barbosa Musician with Barbosa with one S.
Yeah.
And the music is available everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, and both the albums Reborn and Journey.
Just off topic, has anyone ever asked you if you're related to Barbosa from Pirates of the Caribbean?
You have no idea.
Is it? Is that like the common? That's where people go to.
That's actually how the Barbosa experience was called, the Captain Barbosa experience, and I was like, no, I'm changing that to just because everyone is like associating to that.
So social media, it's Pedro Barbosa Musician.
Yeah.
Okay, cross. And then I'm assuming your music is available on all platforms.
Yeah.
But if you had to choose a couple of them, where would you suggest people will get it? Which is the easiest way? Spotify, iTunes, Google Music.
I'm a big Apple oak, so you know it's
so people can get your music on
iTunes. Yeah, it's
fantastic. Well, there you have it. That was Pedro Barbosa. Pedro, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks.
And I wish you all the best, man. You have such a great passion for this year. You've chosen something that you were born to do. That's the best way I can say it. And thank you for sharing that with us and the audience. That was Pedro Barbosa on Bandstripped. Yet another wonderful episode with a beautiful and talented musician who's written songs that I'm absolutely sure that once you give it the chance and give it the time, take a listen to it, it will mean something to you.
Hot 91.9.
Playing the best old school and R&B.